he sent for him, made him sit in front of him, and kept on looking at him with great compassion. And Narendranath felt that a tremendous amount of power, energy and strength emanating from Sri Ramakrishna and saturating his whole being. He felt the vibration of that enormous power and energy welling out from Sri Ramakrishna and saturating him totally. And then Sri Ramakrishna said, Naren, all that I have passed on to you, and I am now a fakir, and go and do the Divine Mother's work. So you see, all these incidents highlight one aspect, that though Narendranath was the incarnation of Naranarayana, of Shiva, as said by Sri Ramakrishna himself, but just like a normal, ordinary human being, he had to go through certain disciplines of life so that he can purify himself for our sake and our understanding like an ordinary human being, and be at the same time the inheritor, the successor of Sri Ramakrishna's collective spiritual wealth and wisdom. Later on we find a tremendous amount of struggle going on in Narendranath's mind. The mandate has been given to him. It has been stipulated by his teacher. He was charged with a responsibility to do good to the mankind. Shikha dive. That's what Sri Ramakrishna said. But he didn't know the way out of it. And that period of Sri Narendranath's or Swami Vivekananda's life is one of the most sparkling studies of a human being with normal dimensions, growing to such an extent that he permeated the whole universe, and that knowledge which Sri Ramakrishna had was right in his grip all the time. So he became a Brahmagyani, a Jnani, and then he became a Vijnani. So that with that authority he said, if Buddha had a message for the East, I have a message for the West. It meant Western culture, not the geographic areas known as West. The whole world today is saturated by this culture of fundamental science being demonstrated by technicians and technologists. Why should Indian spiritual sciences fall behind, lag behind in this challenge? Narendranath is an exposition of practicalization of the Vedantic principles and theories in human society. And his small little pamphlet, the Practical Vedanta, is a gem of spiritual wisdom, translatable in our day-to-day life. We wouldn't go much beyond, but not very much time left. Let us come to the stage of his expounding Sri Ramakrishna's philosophy, message, and propagation of that philosophy, which is a subject matter for the day. This much is the background to develop that subject matter. We find Narendranath started lecturing as Swami Vivekananda all through the world, as mentioned by my previous speaker in the lecture of the religion, the Congress of Religion, the Parliament of Religion, and so on and so forth. It's all known to you. But the most important aspect was, the most important challenge was regeneration of the Indian spiritual culture, regeneration of the Indian mass, and qualitative betterment of human personality without any bounds and limits. The whole human society, the whole humankind. These were the three prominent aspects which faced Narendranath squarely, challenged him squarely on his face. How can he give a concrete and a tangible shape to Sri Ramakrishna's excellent spiritual wisdom, which is deemed to be an otherworldly affair? That otherworldly experience of Sri Ramakrishna has to be brought down to this world. And not only brought down to this world, but has to be propounded and propagated and expounded in such a manner that each one of us feel at home with it. That was the challenge that Swami Vivekananda faced. And the answer to it was extremely simple. So simple that it is not believable. Any stupid thing in the name of religion and spirituality sells in my country like hotcakes. Anything, any stupid idea, any superstition gets a stamp of spiritual wisdom and spirituality. Swami Vivekananda knew that. He wanted to disabuse the concept of spiritual wisdom from the onslaught of superstition and stupidity. He had to bring it in such a level of intellectual understanding, in such a level of rational understanding, that there could be no scope, no possibility of that idea being clouded by superstition and stupidity. That was his challenge. Let us see then, how did he face this challenge? And how did he translate the noblest ideas of Vedantic philosophy, the oneness of the universe, could be practiced by each and every one in our position of life, notwithstanding what that position is. It has to be an empirical, it has to be a universal appeal, where each and every man, in whichever level of awareness he may be, in whichever level of society he may be, he can catch hold of it as his own, and he can march forward till he reaches the goal. According to the Vedantic philosophy and all other philosophies of the world, this human society, this universe, this world of ours is nothing else but the manifestation of the divine, the creation of the divine, where he has entered into. Tat srishtva tadevanupravisata. He created it, he entered into it. And this whole universe is nothing else but the divine, and the divine alone. There is nothing else but the divine. This is the conclusion of all spiritual wisdom that humankind has expounded for centuries or millenniums together. If that is so, then this whole world of ours is nothing else but the temple of the divine. We have developed an idea that a temple is a place which is confined by the four walls. Mosque is a place which is confined by four walls. Church is a place confined by four walls. Though it is true, it is absolutely correct. It is proper to think of it. But you can't confine him within those four walls. If the whole world is a manifestation of the divine, then the whole world is a place where divinity can be experienced. This is the first point that he took up. Second is, he knew that it is not possible for each and every human being to be a mendicant monk, to be a sannyasi, and whole-timer in this pursuit. There will be part-timers, there will be non-professionals, there will be amateurs at it. And he wanted to make it easy for them also. So he said that, look, we know that there is something known as work and something known as worship. But in final analysis, work and worship are only two different names given to two different types of activity. Whatever we do in the shrine, in the mosque, in the church, or in our own household domestic shrines, temples, whatever we do there in that particular point of time, in that particular place, in a particular form, we call it puja, worship. And apart from that, whatever we do is known as work, a mundane work, worldly work. Dunya ka dhandha, that's what we say. But what is dunya, by the way, but a manifestation of the divine? So he says, kindly develop the attitude of worshipfulness in each and every moment of your life. Today, as we are constituted, as we are made up, I have or we have an idea of worship and work. He wanted us to expand the domain and concept of worship. We can change our attitude, not the type of work. The type of work remains the same, but our attitude towards that work can change. It's a subjective evolution of your thinking. It's a broadening and enriching of your own personality and attitudes. Nothing needs to be changed, only your own attitude to that activity. So what is work today and worship today gradually gets hold of our personality, and we call it work is worship. Today it is work and worship, two different things. The more we grow in this attitude that every moment of our life is to be dedicated to the divine who is manifesting himself in this universe, so we mature to the level of work is worship. The work and worship matures into work is worship. And ultimately, the more you are at it and enjoy the bliss of this attitude, get the fun out of this way of life, then your whole life changes into a worship of the divine. So the concept of work totally eliminates itself, and a concept of endless worship of the divine in this million and billion of forms and actions and activities gets hold of you. Your whole life becomes an endless worship of the divine. In the process, what are you doing to yourself, my dear friends? You are divinizing yourself. By constant thought and thinking of the divine, you have divinized yourself. And in the process, the human being, wherever he may be, without changing his profession, without changing his call of duty, without running away from society, without being an escapist, a defeatist, each and every one human being in this world can translate these practical ideas of the Vedantic truth by developing a spirit of worshipfulness in each and every activity of his life. And while doing so, the end result is, by constant remembering the divine in every aspect of life, he is divinizing himself. He is saturating his own personality with the idea of the divine, and he makes himself a divine being, a God in human form walking on this earth. This is the methodology that he placed before the whole humankind, that each one of us, wherever we may be, notwithstanding our professions, notwithstanding our abilities, notwithstanding our level of awareness, each one of us can make a start from wherever it may be. And in this respect, he says, I have come to preach a religion which will make a Hindu a better Hindu, a Christian a better Christian, a Muslim a better Muslim. I have come to preach the religion of man. This is the religion of man that he preached, that each and every humankind, the word man should not be treated as an exclusive exponent of a human being in a male form. It's a humankind, a human being. And each and everyone in this process can develop that sleeping giant within himself, the power of the Atman, which is within himself. And that is what he said, that every human soul is potentially divine. The purpose of religion is to manifest that divinity already within us. Do it by jnana, karma, bhakti and yoga and be free. That is the end all and be all of religion. Doctrines and dogmas are of secondary details. The essence of religion is to manifest that divinity within us by worshipping the divine in every moment of our lives. And thereafter, in the process, we divinize ourselves and we are completely saturated with the idea of the divine, and that is nothing else but the achievement of the spiritual oneness of the universe. These words, my dear friends, he summarized in the motto of the Ramakrishna mission, the movement which he started, Bahujana Hitaya, for the heat, for the welfare of the many. Bahujana Sukhaya, for the happiness of the many. Atmano Mokshartham, for the salvation of one's own self. That is, breaking the bondage of ignorance that I am a petty, small human being. I am the representative of the divine in this world, in this human frame, provided I divinize my personality. And what would be the end result? Jagat Hitayacha. In the process, the whole world will change its color. We always keep on saying the society is bad, the society is dirty. Could you tell me, my dear friends, what this society is? Kaun jangal ka janwar hai ye? Kaun jangal ka hai ye society? It is nothing, something created in the heavens and dropped from the skies. It is we who have gotten to make this society. If the society is bad, it is because of us. If the society is good, it is because of us. If we want to make the society better, let us make ourselves better. It's not something created elsewhere and dropped from the skies. We are responsible for what we have done to ourselves. and it is we who are the makers of our destiny. He had also said a few more words which I'll just touch and pass by. That is, for the purposes of the spiritual enlightenment of a human soul, he classified the human being in 4 distinct categories. Each human being has these 4 distinct aspects in his personality: rationality, emotions, desire to perform an act because he's a living entity, and the desire to know the unknown. The restlessness in a human being is nothing else but that desire manifesting itself to know my true original nature. With these 4 aspects of human personality, he wrote 4 masterly treatises: the Jnana Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, the Karma Yoga, and the Raja Yoga. Jnana Yoga is an appeal to the rationality of a human being, the intellectual part of a human being, to find out the highest common factor in this universe, the Atman, the Brahman. The Bhakti Yoga teaches you how you can purify your emotions so that your relationship with the divine, whom you are to worship in every moment of your life, is not dirtied by your desires of things of the world. How to purify your emotions to make yourself qualified enough, suitable enough, adequate enough, competent enough to absorb the divine compassion within yourself and purify yourself further. The concept of Karma Yoga is that each and every living entity has to work. Work is life. So when you work, you will be trained to work in such a manner that this work does not lead you to bondage, it leads you to salvation and mukti. And a Raja Yoga is the concept where the desire to know the unknown is methodically controlled to the control of the human psyche, the antakarana, the mind. With these 4 aspects, he encompasses the human personality totally and fully, and gives him a wide choice, either one or all of them. And he says, Jnana, Karma, Bhakti, Yoga, all together or any one of them or any combination of them is a direct and independent means to realization of the self. That is his statement. So, my dear friends, the expounding of Sri Ramakrishna's philosophy in concrete words and in tangible form and in concrete sadhana has been the main theme of Swami Vivekananda's advent, his life and his teachings. And with those teachings he enunciated the motto of the Ramakrishna mission, that is, Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sikhaya, Atmano Mokshartham, Jagat Hitaya. Thank you.